Welcome back to the Nerdrotic Podcast. My name is Gary Buechler. I am live in San Francisco, California. I come to you from Nerdrotic.com. And with me, as usual, is my co-host in San Diego, California, Dennis Bithoulkas. What is up, man?
Doing good. It's Friday, so it's all good.
It's Friday, and I actually look forward to this. Last week we did okay. We had a couple of viewers. It was great. It was cool interaction. This is our main podcast. We don't recap just a TV show. We talk about everything genre, everything that's important to us and you, and we invite you to interact. And usually we recap and then we'll chat with you afterwards. In this one, you can chat away. We can change subjects. You can introduce subjects, tell us what you want to talk about. It's totally cool, but we do have our own subjects. And we're going to help guide the conversation, but we're open to anything. And I mean anything. No. So, dude, man, it's been a crazy week is there a term? I mean, like, I hate to say nerd news. Is it like genre news or fandom news? I don't know.
I call it genre news.
Yeah, genre. We'll call it genre news.
Yeah, really
because it's not just comic book stuff. I mean, there's a lot of superhero stuff, but we actually cover peripheral comic stuff.
Yeah.
More like, yeah. So I don't know, just stuff that you love. Okay. Dude, start us out, man. There's too much to talk about.
Yeah. I'm going to start off with, we've talked about this before, but our BringbackBoomstick. This is hashtag BringbackBoomstick. This is the petition for Stars to give Ash versus Evil Dead a season 4. We have it up on our on our Facebook site. Go and take a look. Go and sign up for it. Ash is in danger of not getting a season 4. Season 3 is in the can at the moment. They are going to show this come February, but we want a season 4 as well. It's a great show. It's a lot of fun. If you haven't watched it, go and watch it. And we've actually been partnering with our friends over at 123 Elm Street.
428.
1428
Elm Street.
1428 Elm Street. Jeez, I just screwed that one up completely.
Yeah.
Thank you.
You're just counting in order. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 Elm Street.
You can tell it's Friday. I'm sorry about that. 1428.
Not a sobriety test, Dennis.
Shh. I do my best work in this kind of environment.
Yeah.
But yeah, we go over there, sign up. If you haven't seen the series, go and watch it. Pay for the Stars, subscription when it's on. You don't need to do it when Ash vs. Evil Dead isn't on. Buy the DVDs. That's all we're asking is, that's all they're asking too, is people actually spend money on it instead of pirating it. Don't pirate it. That's bullshit.
Yeah, we're not, hey, it's not good to pirate. And I'm not telling you to not pirate everything. Just don't pirate this. This is something we love, and it's truly hurting. And this is going to be felt throughout the industry and more. We've actually got news on another show, which is really bad.
And I'm going to bring it right up after this one.
Yeah. And, but we're going to stay on Ash vs. Evil Dead right now, which is my favorite show on TV. I know I've said that a lot about, this is truly my favorite show. It is 27 to 28 minutes of perfection. Comedy, horror, campy. It's B movies personified, but actually made with an A movie quality.
Bruce Campbell are set to 11.
Yeah, to 11. Bruce Campbell is amazing. This show is better than the movies. Okay, I said it. It's better than the movies.
I mean, it's got Lee Majors as his father, for God's sakes.
It's got Lucy Lawless.
Lucy Lawless.
Oh my God, it has been so much fun, and it's a great thing to binge. And it feels like a 6-hour movie that's actually entertaining. You're not bored with any moment, and the plot is riveting, and it gives a depth to Ash that you've never had. And you might not be a fan of blood and guts, but if you're not squeamish at all, even if it's not in your wheelhouse, try this show. It is hilarious. It's everything that made the Evil Dead great. And like Dennis said, turned up to 11. Stars, to its credit, the former owners of Stars really let Sam Raimi and crew, do what they wanted. And, they came out with a perfect show. Now, there's Lionsgate purchased Stars in September, and that's not coming out to be a great move at all.
No, it's not.
Yeah.
And as a result, you think we should move on to our next topic?
Well, I just want to mention that the petition will be we'll have a link on in our description. It's also on our Facebook page. We've also tweeted about it. We've also done 2 videos, which is Ash going to be canceled and Save Ash vs. Evil Dead. And just go back and watch those, and we explain why it might be canceled and why you should save this show. And again, just don't pirate. Yeah, we're kind of repeating ourselves, but it's important to us because we love to talk about the show. I love to watch this show, and
I do too. Yeah,
it really looks like that this is the last season. And
yeah, I mean, Bruce Campbell's been talking about this a lot, and I'm disappointed, because we're not going to see Bruce Campbell as Ash ever again after this. When he's this series, he's done with the character. That's it. He's not going back for movies. He's not, doing little cameos, anything like that. He's done with the character, which would be a damn shame.
Yeah, really disappointing. And especially if they end season 3 in a way to where they were expecting a season 4, I think they're going to round it up and kind of end it. It just looks like it's going to end that way. And also to if anybody new is watching, this isn't a bait and switch. We do a full podcast, and our title has the Robin reveal. We will be talking about that later. That was news that just dropped today, and oh my God, have we got a lot to say. But a teaser is, it looks freaking amazing. Okay. So let's move on to our next subject, which is on the same network.
Yes. American Gods showrunners Michael Green and Brian Fuller are exiting the series midway through season 2 due to disputes with the studio over budget and creative direction. And Neil Gaiman's going to be popping in, probably directing and writing, as for the next half of that season. But still, these are the guys that were around for all of season 1 and made American Gods what it was. So, yeah, not a good thing.
An argument can be made about Brian Fuller. He left Star Trek Discovery for creative differences and budgetary constraints, and he left it for American Gods. It's a show we cover here. That's what we're talking about. And I freaking love the show. Yeah. It was a great show. The quality on it was amazing. This was kind of a punch in the gut. I was looking forward to season 2. Apparently they've filmed a bunch of it already. And Brian Fuller and what was the other guy's name?
Michael Green.
Michael Green bailed halfway through. How many episodes did they do?
I think they did 6, if I'm not mistaken. 5 or 6.
Man, there is something going on in Hollywood because people are leaving projects like when they're almost done. This is only an 8-episode series. So, I mean, we're going to get a season 2, and I'm pretty sure Neil Gaiman will just come in and try to do this. Thing is, Neil Gaiman doesn't like running stuff. He's already said that. He's been offered showrunner for so many shows before, and he's actually been offered it Doctor Who, and he wouldn't take it. So, yeah, I think he'll come in because it's his baby, and it did so well. But without those guys, I can't. And unless Noah Hawley comes in, he's doing Legion right now.
Yep.
He's the only guy that I've seen in television who could do it in the same vein in Brian Fuller, maybe even better. I think he might even be able to do it better. I would call that dude right now because it looks like there might be trouble with Legion too. But he might be doing too many shows because he's doing Fargo too.
Yeah. I think that's enough. I think he's, Fargo and Legion, and I don't want to see him spread too thin. And
yeah, so Starz had 2 shows that could both have easily gotten to not Game of Thrones status, but pretty damn close if they would have put anything behind it. Problem is, Lionsgate doesn't have any money. Okay, they're a podunk studio. I'm sorry to say. They've put out some good stuff in the past. But they're one of those studios that really likes to live in the middle. They don't ever want to be big. And I mean, they're necessary for Hollywood, but they shouldn't be running a network of any kind. So, and with cable TV dying, I don't see Starz being around for much longer. Hopefully, I hate to say this because hopefully somebody comes in like Warner Brothers and buys them or something like that. Because if they move either of these shows to HBO, HBO could really use them. To be honest with you, if I was HBO, I'd be knocking on Raimi's door and begging Fuller to come back and say, "Hey, listen, we'll bring you over here." and then
you know who
that
could
would
take them easily? Vizio, Amazon.
who?
Vizio.
Oh, Amazon. Yeah, if I was Amazon, I would be not. Yeah, definitely. That would even. That's a no-brainer.
Yeah.
I mean, if Amazon wants to immediately take on Netflix, which they want to do right now, you got your Lord of the Rings coming. You got Man in the High Castle. I almost said White Castle again. God damn. Man in the White Castle.
I'm not the only one.
Yeah, I still want to see that movie. That's Harold and Kumar's like. That's their magnum opus. Man in the White
Nazis
Castle.
on the way to the White Castle.
White Nazis on the way to the White Castle. That'd be great. Oh my God. Yeah, that's just there's a sea change happening, ladies and gentlemen. We're watching it live and we're watching it go down. And that's pretty much what this entire podcast is going to be about. It's about like all this weird, some of it's good, some of it's bad stuff in Hollywood, and also a great costume reveal, which is our headline tonight. So yeah, that's really sucks. John and I enjoyed the hell out of American Gods, and I can't wait for the next season. But I gotta say, my interest is waned quite a bit. Hearing that news, that really bummed me out. That sucks.
So we move on to some of you may watch it. I know I do. I know Gary doesn't. The Walking Dead. Morgan, who's been around since season 1. And is back now again, is going to be leaving The Walking Dead and is going to cross over to Fear the Walking Dead, which is kind of the prequel, if you will, to Walking Dead. So it's going to be interesting to see how they do that. And also, everyone's wondering if he's going to be killed off in Walking Dead since he's leaving that show. Very interesting.
It would seem that way. Just what I've heard with it. I mean, I'm going to eventually pick up the show again. I just bailed out. I kind of bailed out right where I bailed out on the comics. It just got too long and meandering for me. It's still good, and I'll dip back in, and I'll definitely finish and watch it out. It's not a bad show at all. Not no. In the least bit. It's had, it's ups and downs, but it's still overall one of the best shows on television. Don't get me wrong. It's grim, dude, and it's like it doesn't seem to be going anywhere, and the comic never did. And my feelings on Kirkman's, like, we're never going to tell you where the zombies came from. And am I the only a-hole who wants to know where the zombies came from? Because I do. I think that's dumb, but that's just
I'm not going to say it's aliens,
but it's aliens. Where's our Giorgio Tsoukalos meme? Right when we need it.
Syed, and I'm going to murder his last name, Tagmawi from Wonder Woman. He is going to be exiting Legion season 2 after filming. I believe he's filmed
6 episodes.
Not 6 episodes.
Yeah.
And he played the Shadow King. Basically, he played the human version of the Shadow King, or Farouk, as we know him in the comics. And they're going to have to recast that, actually, and reshoot it. We don't know how much, but supposedly it wasn't a lot.
So it's not enough to delay the show, which is
not enough to delay the show. No.
Another great show that we cover. This one is not as bad as the American God news. And the Shadow King was played by Aubrey Plaza to perfection last year. And I know she's not coming back. So yeah, I mean, the guy was decent in Wonder Woman. I don't think, I don't think it'll hurt the show. This kind of stuff happens all the time. Yeah. And Noah Hawley, who runs that show, is pretty much a genius. Yeah. So I have no doubt that like this show's going to blow up. Now, the news we're going to talk about later might affect it, but I think the word of mouth on this show has been so good, just in some of the podcasts I go to and in the comic book community. This show got a lot of love, and it was deserved, because it's kind of the Mr. Robot of comic book shows. Yes,
it's not kind of, it is.
It is, yeah. But it still had enough comic book, like it had a straight up comic book battle. And guys with powers. And yes, it had a few Singer moments, but not enough to take me out of it. I don't think Singer's involved at all.
No.
I think he direct an episode, maybe?
The first episode, I believe.
First episode, yeah.
I think that's what he directed, and that was okay.
Yeah.
But you can tell it's totally Noah's show on this one.
It's absolutely his show. Oh my God. Right, hang on. There we go.
Moving on, Mark Millar who is teasing what his next Netflix series is going to be on Twitter with a picture of an hourglass. What could that possibly be? It might be Chrononaugts.
Oh, okay. So we're not going to go over the plot. If you haven't read Chrononauts, well, first you have to be a Mark Millar fan, and not everybody's a Mark Millar fan. I don't understand why you're not a Mark Millar fan. I know he could be a little dark and he could play with canon a little bit too much, and it might piss somebody off. But let's not forget he wrote Civil War. And if you do count Captain America #25 as the real ending to Civil War, then Civil War is great. Okay. If you don't count Captain America 25, then yeah, I can see how the ending pissed you off. But and he wrote some Fantastic Four. He did the Ultimates. He did some pretty dark stuff, but that wasn't in the 616. I know some people complained about it, but it was an alternate take. And his Millarworld stuff is almost, I love every comic that he comes out with. So
yeah, my favorite so far from him has been Nemesis, and I'm waiting for Nemesis to show up in the Millarworld.
Nemesis will probably show up. Now, I am a fan. I'd say my favorite Millarworld is Wanted. I'm a fan of Wanted.
Yeah, Wanted is really good.
Yeah, Wanted's really, really good. Secret Service is a good. It's a decent comic. Chosen is great. But and Kick-Ass, of course, Kick-Ass is really good too. So and I think that's just the beginning, but man, that's ambitious for Netflix to do Chrononauts, because that's the one that's going to cost the most money. But what the hell, when you have that $18 billion loan or whatever they got, like, go for the Chrononauts. That's going to be amazing. I cannot wait. That is oh man, maybe I might be more excited for Millarworld than what's coming in the MCU post Infinity War. Okay. That's that's the old guy in me, but Millarworld's awesome. And you could still buy the comics cheap. You can go on eBay and probably find the full series for cover price or cheaper with free shipping. I highly recommend buy the floppies. Half the time they turn out being cheaper in the trade on eBay or Amazon anyway. And definitely check out Chrononauts. And it's also drawn by the great Sean Murphy.
Yes. Sean Murphy, by the way, who worked on Punk Rock Jesus, which if you haven't read Punk Rock Jesus, read it. It's awesome.
Yeah.
Have you started reading that yet? Or
I have. And I've also been reading Batman White Knight, which is pretty goddamn amazing too, and really different. But his art is sick, man. It is. What it reminds me of Tank Girl. Hewlett.
Yes.
It looks a lot like his art. So it's really good stuff, man. So yeah, that's great news. That I'm super excited. Although, how my complaint about Netflix series is they're really hard to recap because they drop them all at once. So it's kind of a bummer. But oh well, that's a personal YouTube thing.
George R.R. Martin announced that his book Nightflyers, or his novella, his short story Nightflyers, has been made into a 10-episode season 1 for SyFy.
That's I don't know about this book. I know George R.R. Martin. I am very familiar with Game of Thrones, Song of Ice and Fire, which is far and beyond the best thing he's done. Okay. I know there's a lot of fans of his other books out there, but his other books are like slightly better Stephen King novels. Not slightly better, a lot better, but nothing to the level of Game of Thrones.
Well, Nightflyers has a big cult following, if you will, from the movie that was done in the 80s. I'm not a big fan of it myself, but I know a lot of people that are, and hey,
I'll give it a shot.
Yeah, I'll give it a shot too. I heard that it changes a bit of the story so that you can actually get an episode arc out of this for the season. Because let's face it, in the book, should I spoil that the story?
Sure.
Everyone dies. So
that's kind of his thing, though.
Yeah.
I think people expect that. Yeah. I don't think. Well, I don't think everyone will die. But SyFy SyFy is coming up, man. They've gone through a change, and I still hate the Y in it, but the Expanse is one of the better shows on TV. And if they do more stuff, and 12 Monkeys they did, and there's other stuff, and Happy is going to be on there. We're going to be covering that next week. Happy, by the way. Got a text back from Derek Robertson. It's a very good chance that we will be chatting with Derek Robertson right here on this channel. Artist of Transmetropolitan, Happy, and the Boys, who is a friend of ours. So that is a very good chance that should be happening in the next week. Watch our Twitter and stuff, and we'll let you know. But yeah.
So moving on, we have our Hellboy reboot has a January 11th, 2019 release date.
Yay. That's all I have to say about that. Dude, David Harbour looks freaking amazing in this.
Yeah. He is yoked.
He is so yoked. And now I still don't know if that is the costume or him. I think it's a little of both, but yeah, I saw that picture of him, and like he definitely looks like he like lost some weight, worked out.
He did the Chris Pratt diet.
He did. But he didn't grow a mustache. I don't know about Chris Pratt's mustache in that Infinity War trailer.
The porn stash?
The porn stash? Yeah. I don't know, but yeah, it's that looks just good. In theaters January 11th. Now, how do you feel about that release date though? I think we kind of knew it was coming out in January. Did they say January? Yeah.
They were saying January, and I'm actually okay with it.
It's Lionsgate, who we just talked shit about.
Yeah. Well, and Summit Entertainment. So Summit has a little bit more money than Lionsgate. Lionsgate's just actually they're pairing together, Lionsgate and Summit, to release it. But no, I'm fine with the January release date, tell you the truth, because you need to have movies. We talked about this before, where we just need to spread movies out a bit more instead of lumping them in the summer or lumping them in the winter, that kind of thing. They need, you need to have love throughout the entire year.
I don't know about that director though. I still have great reservations. I'm glad Mike Mignola is involved. I think that's a good thing, but this is I'm spacing on his name now. He's a Game of Thrones TV director. It wasn't the guy who did Dark. It was the guy who just did the last season, and they were directed really well. The stories were terrible, but
Neil Marshall.
Yeah.
I was just reading what
he did. The Blackwater too. Yeah. So yeah, it's good. They got a good pick for Hellboy, but you and I are huge fans of Hellboy.
Yeah.
Right now I'm looking over there at my complete Hellboy collection in my Hellboy comic boxes, which I'm not going to lift up for you. And I love both Guillermo del Toro, even though they're Guillermo del Toro's Hellboy. Yeah. But like I got to meet that dude and talk to him in a green room at Jimmy Kimmel. That was rad. And
I got to bump into Ron Perlman at Comic-Con, quite literally out on the sidewalk.
Did you? I remember that. Yeah. I got to look at Guillermo del Toro's book, that little freaking sketchbook he carrying around since he was a kid. He has Spider-Man drawings in there. It's freaking amazing. But yeah, no, Perlman's awesome. I have not seen him. I haven't even seen him at con, but he's getting up there. So David Harbour's a good choice. I just don't know about the director, man, but we'll see.
I think it'll be fine. Yeah. I mean, got Mila Jovovich as the Blood Queen. Come on.
Yeah, no, I'm in. Don't worry.
Yeah,
I'm there.
Now on to some depressing news. David S. Goyer is now in talks with Sony to direct the Masters of the Universe trilogy.
David S. Goyer. For one, like, what's the S stand for? Well, I can tell you what the S stands
for.
But yeah, that's a guy who's like
allegedly.
There's no allegedly about it. I've got a friend who deposed him. I got a friend who was a lawyer who deposed him over the Wesley Snipes incident, where Wesley Snipes wouldn't leave his trailer, and they decided to film Blade 3 with a stunt double when Wesley Snipes was a producer, basically his boss. Wesley Snipes was his boss, and David S. Goyer went around him, and then he talked endless S about Wesley Snipes, and then Wesley Snipes got in trouble with the tax thing, so everybody dumped on Wesley like he was the a-hole, when the truth of the matter was David S. Goyer was the major a-hole in this. Now, Wesley Snipes is a rough actor, and sometimes he's a little rough to fellow actors. That's a given. But the people on the first two movies had no problem with him. Guillermo del Toro had no problem with him. The guy who directed who was the guy? Oh man, who directed the first one? Didn't he direct the first Blade?
Yes. Now I'm blanking on his name too. Thank you.
Oh my God, it's not Proyas, the guy. Really good director. Doesn't do totally unsung because we can't remember his name. He didn't have a problem with them. So my old friend who was a intellectual property lawyer and did some work with me at the Comic Outpost told me the story about deposing Stephen Norrington. Stephen Norrington, yes. Did the story of or had the story of deposing him over the Wesley Snipes incident, and just said the guy was such a prick through and through. And he's a coattail writer. So what he's done is he rode Nolan's coattails, and he's writing this DC. He's finally out of the DCU. I know he's attached to some projects, but they're finally over his act, because he had his chance with Blade 3. Now some people I don't totally hate Blade 3, but I mostly hate Blade 3. But he belongs with, you know what? The masters of the universe deserve better than him.
Yeah, they do. Well, they had the Fast and the Furious runner. I can't remember his name. And then all of a sudden he kind of skyrocketed to something else. And I can't remember what he's on now, but he's on like a high profile movie. And excellent. And I
want to tell you, I was a little rough on David S. Goyer there. It was just because he was mean to one of my friends. So I'm gonna back my friend. that's why. I've never met the guy, but one of my friends said just had a hard time with him. So that's why I don't like him. He could be the nicest guy in the world, and my friend could have been a dick. I have no idea. But I'm gonna back my friend.
I've heard too many stories about Goyer to.
Yeah.
So moving on here, we're now going to give you what we teased you with to begin with, the first look of Robin.
Yeah, let me get
live
that
action
picture.
Teen Titans series on the DC streaming service. It was just released, like 2 hours ago?
Was it 2 hours ago? I have no idea. I was at work. I rushed home to do this podcast, and I'm opening up the picture right now. I'm sure all of you have seen it. Oh, that's not it. Okay, that's it. There we go. And let's get the screen share going here.
We don't want to see your porn pictures.
Look at that. That is just beautiful. That is, we're this deep into comic books, this far into all the universes, and it just hit me when I saw this. I'm like, we haven't seen a freaking Robin, and don't even say Batman and Robin. Just don't. Stop it. I don't want to hear it. I know it's at the tip of your tongue. Roll it back in there. Rewind. This is beautiful. That is freaking awesome. I am so far. I heard about this Titan series, and Teen Titans are my favorite DC book. I've been reading them since the Perez Wolfman days, and the days it outsold the X-Men. I'm speechless at how great this picture is. And I know it's only the upper body, but that looks like Robin. That looks like Robin. They didn't we're going to make it a black motorcycle suit, or we're going to do an interpretation of the costume. That is straight up the DC, basically the new 52 Robin costume. And DC fans must be just freaking out right now. And you deserve it. DC fans have been through a rough time, man. We've given you a rough time. The press has given you a rough time. The DCU. The thing is, when we attack the Justice League movie or Warner Brothers, we're doing it in your defense, DC fan, because we love DC Comics too. But we don't want to accept crap. DC deserves better. DC was first, okay, before Marvel. And the fact that Marvel beat DC to the Avengers and all that is Warner Brothers' fault. That's who you should be mad at. That's the company you should be mad at. Now, Warner Brothers is trying, and this is a ginormous step in the right direction. This is the future. If everything's moving, this whole theme of this podcast is everything's going to be moving to streaming services, and you're going to be able to make your own stuff. Excuse me. And and hopefully if you get enough subscribers, you got the money to do this. Now, Netflix and Amazon have a huge lead on everybody right now. But this man, if Warner Brothers could corner the streaming market on superheroes, it's over. I mean, Disney won't even be able to compete with that. Because Disney's had a hard time with television. You got, quite frankly, DC's been better with television. Now it's different levels.
Yeah.
But at least they've allowed. Hey, they've done this before Marvel. There's a Flash on a movie right now, and there's a Flash on TV, and they're totally different. Yep. And you have to give Warner Brothers tons of credit for allowing that to happen, because Disney would never let that happen because of that whole confusion of the audience. This proves that the audience won't be confused. So, and it's been a travesty. We've had so many Batman movies, and all we've gotten is a costume with writing on it in Batman versus Superman. So, hell yeah, that looks so freaking good. My God, I can't wait. I can't freaking wait. And if this is the quality of this, I can't wait to see Beast Boy and Starfire. And it sucks that Cyborg's not going to be in this.
Yeah,
but we got Hawk and Dove.
Yeah.
And we got Raven. That's cool, but
Raven. I mean, at least we have Starfire, Raven, and Beast Boy. That's a good majority of what I was looking for. Yeah, the Hawk and Dove I can take and leave. No, so
the only other thing I want to see out of DC is this Dark Justice League that they keep talking about with Constantine and Zatanna and maybe. I don't think it's going to happen. I think it'll happen someday, maybe on the DC streaming service. But both you and I are fans of the supernatural superheroes. Oh, so and
especially the DC Supernatural.
The DC ones are awesome, and so are the Marvel ones. But they just seem to that's where they draw the line for some reason. I have no idea why. But damn, that is a good picture. I am so happy with that, and I hope the fans are too, man. Because that is worthy of a lot of praise there. There's Brian Smart. Let's see what Brian's. Hey, what's up, Brian? Always been a fan of the Titans. Hellboy might be my birthday movie gift to myself. So your birthday's in January. Duly noted. And it's a worthy birthday present, right? If you guys had the ability, what comic would you like to bring to TV, to film or TV? Ooh, that hasn't been done yet. Dennis, do you want to go first?
I think we talked about this before, and I think we both said Wanted.
Yeah, the true version of Wanted.
Yeah, the true version of Wanted.
But I think that's going to happen. I think I'm going to go a little dig. If I was God of the universe and I had no budgetary constraints, I would. Oh God, this is tough. What comic book that hasn't been done?
I know what I do. Old Man Logan.
Old man, like the real Old Man Logan.
The real Old Man Logan.
Yeah. God, there's so many out there, but I would go. What is my favorite? Okay. From a Marvel guy, this might sound weird. Okay, I'm going to give you two. Okay, so I'm going to give you the cerebral one. Saga of the Swamp Thing. Alan Moore's Swamp Thing. Done, and as I'm the God of the universe, and Alan Moore has signed off on it. Okay, I'm not saying he's involved, but he's actually signed off on it, and we agreed to give his money to his favorite anarchist organization. And saying this is a total Marvel guy. Ooh, Marvels. I would do Marvels. Alex Ross, Busiek, right? Marvels. I don't know if that was Busiek or not. I can't remember. Or was it Wade? Yeah, I would do Marvels. It's either that or Crisis on Infinite Earths. I like the big Gonzo crossovers. Those are my favorite thing. Contest of Champions. That's one of the first comic books I wore out. Like just read it over and over and over again. I like a lot of superheroes.
I would say for my DC movie, I would want Batman Beyond: Return of the Joker.
But he said comic book. Not, not a animated. Batman. This is a typical Dennis answer, by the way, Brian Smart.
Well, no.
Hey, what favorite comic book would you like adapted? Little Abner.
There's also Batman Beyond the comic book. I mean,
there is, but okay. He said pick a comic book, Dennis. For Christ's sake, don't make it complicated.
that was my DC choice. I already
Okay.
gave you my Marvel.
I would love to see Tony Todd in Dark Justice as Deadman. Hell yeah. I think we'll get a Dark Justice League at some point. It's such a great concept. I knew when I heard Guillermo del Toro was going to do it that he wasn't going to do it. I got to talk to the guy. I don't mean to be a name dropper. I apologize for that. It was a stupid thing. I won an eBay auction for the Heroes Initiative, and I bid $300 to meet Guillermo del Toro in the green room and go to Jimmy Kimmel Live and see Tenacious D. And I bid $300. I'm like, I'm not going to win, but at least the money will go to the Heroes Initiative. And I freaking won. And I was like, what? So I got 2 tickets down to John. I grabbed John because he could go last minute. We went down to LA, and Guillermo del Toro was supposed to have real FaceTime with me, but then he got called away for a movie. So we talked for half an hour. But he gave me the full attention. I never got the picture I was supposed to have with him or anything, but that's cool. I didn't care. And got to meet Jack Black real quick, but just talking to Guillermo del Toro for 30 minutes, I totally see how, he's worse than me. You want to talk about adult ADHD? That guy's got it bad. Yeah, he's a creative person. So
on, on panels, and yes, he's just everywhere,
but super nice. Not dickish everywhere, just really enthusiastic person. So there must be some lows to go with that high. I understand that, but I liked him even more after I met him. He's super nice guy, and maybe I caught him on a good day. But and just seeing his little book, his creative book, and how good of it, just a pure. He could go draw comics tomorrow, and be the best comic artist there is.
I just thought of a really good comic book movie from a comic book, Camelot 3000.
That would be pretty badass.
Yeah,
I'm not going to say no to that. Johnny Pompous said Kingdom Come would be mine. That would probably be better than Marvel's. I'll give you that too. It's got a better story. Marvel's tells the story of the Marvel universe, and it's kind of cutesy and it's fun. Kingdom Come is Watchmen-esque. Actually, it was based on an Alan Moore story called Twilight, and done very well. Done very well. And yes, it was about glowing vampires. No, you know about that. You've read that script, right?
Yeah.
It's been out. It's out there on the internet. Go read it. It's basically. Did they give Alan Moore some love in that book? I can't remember. They really should have. So.
I don't think they did. It was DC.
Yeah, man. Brian Smart says, I would like to make DC's Warlord as a team. That would be cool. That would be you'd have to go definitely Netflix and Amazon. That would be pretty pricey.
Yeah.
But that's a deep cut there, Brian. That's a deep cut. It was an amazing experience. It was, I'm very grateful to have had, through the comic store, I was able to do some things I never thought, I have Chewbacca over my store, surreal moments. You're standing next to Chewbacca and you're like, I worshiped you as a child. Yes, I was a Chewbacca fan. He was my first action figure. I like Chewbacca, and just being near a guy who was in Star Wars, I got weak in the knees, and I met his wife, and we're friends on LinkedIn. It's weird because I'm just a dork who likes Star Wars or used to. Yeah. So the comic book shop was really fun. It allowed me to do a lot of fun stuff that I'm very grateful for. Yeah. So, yeah, I just went off on a tangent there, but
speaking of comics that have been adapted into movies that we want to see, we just had a trailer drop a couple days ago.
What trailer?
Avengers: Infinity War.
Oh, it's such old news now. Oh my God, how many? Okay, do you want to complain about Thanos not having his armor or Spider-Man looking rubbery? I've watched 1,000 videos, so I could break out every complaint, which I agree with. For one, actually, we complained about that 4 or 5 podcasts ago. It looks like Thanos just got back from yoga. He's wearing his Under Armour, which I guess is pretty badass. That he's on the way back from buying milk and eggs at the Galactic Market for death, and he kicks the ass of the Marvel Universe
to just raid the Earth. But in the meantime, My armor's at the cleaners, so
Yeah.
you have to,
On the way back
bear
from
with me.
raiding Earth, could you pick up some bread? And I need tampons. And Thanos, being the good husband that he is, her boyfriend, he gets the tampons. I like the trailer. I did.
I did too.
I didn't. Yeah. Okay. I have to be consistent. The CGI, the orangey looking CGI, did not look that great. But I was just assuming that the movie's still 6 months out. There's a ton of posts to do, and they have a lot of cleaning up to do. But I can't complain about the Justice League trailer and then not complain about the Infinity War trailer. That wouldn't be fair.
I have to admit, I don't like the way Thanos' hue that they had on him when he walks out. He looked very pinkish instead of purple. So
yeah.
But again, I thought the same thing, that maybe it's just they haven't finished the rendering.
This movie's gonna kick ass.
Yeah.
But there's a caveat here, which is, for one, Thanos will not be wearing his armor in this. It's not going to be later. Kevin Feige has come out and said he's not. Now in the fourth one, he might be, if he's in the fourth one, which we still don't know.
Yeah.
But he's not. And that was purely budgetary, because it's really hard to animate all those details. Okay. So that's Marvel was cutting back on something. Now it might've been a time issue too, but that is a horrible decision. That is a bad decision. And it's not like Marvel doesn't make some bad decisions. Okay. The Spider-Man costume, half-assing the Iron Spider-Man. I'm a huge fan of Spider-Man. I am not a fan of this costume at all, but I'll learn to live with it. They want to make him look different in this movie. That's fine. I would have just made it look, I would have used more of the Iron Man colors.
Well, what? It's actually a cross. I was looking at it. It's a cross between the Iron Spider and the Fantastic Foundation.
And Ben Reilly's.
And Ben Reilly's, yeah.
Ben Reilly's, yeah. The colors are just terrible. It's not a good color mix at all. The Thanos not wearing his armor after you've already shown him to be in his armor, and like the versions of him at the end of Avengers and in Guardians of the Galaxy, which has been said by every single podcast on the internet, we will now be the 2 billionth, looked perfect. It looked perfect. You didn't need to change it. So this is where you see where the comic book consultants left, and Kevin Feige just makes decisions on his own, and usually they're very good. But I think I know we're coming to the end. We're coming to the end. This is going to be, there's all kinds of crazy theories now. Like they're going to go multiverse, which sorry for getting into spoilers. This is just what I think, but based on what I've heard, they're going to go multiverse on us, and we're going to jump into another world or something where they can have a Miles Morales Spider-Man maybe, or, Captain Marvel is going to come in the last minute and pretty much take over Avengers 4. And then they're going to pass the mantle to her. Not sure how I feel about that. I would like to have seen her get a couple of movies before she does that. And it's not because she's a woman. I would be pissed if Ghost Rider came in and took over the Avengers. As much as I like Ghost Rider, be stupid. I don't know. I don't know where they're going to go with this. The trailer itself, though, looked pretty good. They didn't reveal a lot, and it was all based on people who've read comics. I think, to the people who are complaining that this trailer didn't tell a story, there have been 17 movies.
Yes.
18 movies.
I take that back.
If this is going to be the first movie you see,
it's actually been 20 movies.
I thought it was 17.
No, it's 20 because Black Panther is going to be 21.
Okay,
okay,
Dennis. 22. Movies that have not been released yet. Those are not.
No, I know. That's what I'm saying.
Movies haven't come out yet. So as of right now, we've got 17 movies. So because the Smog could come down and destroy us all, and then we never see Black Panther. So there is no 18th movie. As I was saying, if you haven't seen the movies by now, that's a dumb argument. That's just hating on the trailer, in my opinion. So I don't know.
And by the way, if you ever are confused as to what all the stones are and what they do and all that, I put up a handy dandy infographic on our Facebook page that shows you what all the stones are, where they came from, who has them now, and what their powers are.
I can go to that graphic right now. Yeah, Brian Smart, you're right. Thanos looks a little CG. I think they can render that out. But
I think
yeah,
it's just the rendering. Yeah, he needs to be rendered out a little bit more.
Thanos and Spider-Man both looked very, very rubbery.
Yeah.
But again, it's early, and I think the biggest problem. Hang on a second. I think the biggest problem was everybody saw that Comic-Con trailer, which was better. I know you didn't see it, but I think the rest of the world saw it, and it was a really bad like phone video from San Diego Comic-Con, and that trailer was a million times better. And it's got Thanos like throwing a meteor or a piece of a planet at the end of it. And the music was better and the buildup was better. So they recut a worse trailer. So even though we weren't officially supposed to see that, yeah, here's the graphic. Oh, there we go. Save image. Sorry, folks. And we're going to show that little infographic that Dennis was talking about, or are we not?
Eventually it'll come up there.
Eventually it'll come up. There we go. Share.
There we are. So as you can see, we have the Mind Stone, the Reality Stone, the Space Stone, the Power Stone, the Time Stone. The only one we don't know as of yet is the Soul Stone.
The Soul Gem. It's a Soul Gem. Okay, so that's going to be interesting since it's not going to be Warlock, confirmed by James Gunn. Where do you think the Soul Gem is? I think it's in. Where do you think it is?
I believe it's in Wakanda in the Soul Tree.
In the Soul Tree. All right. That makes sense, actually. And I guess it shows why there's an attack on Wakanda of some kind.
Yes.
And we get to see some Hulk armor, or is it Hulk in the armor?
It's actually Bruce Banner in the Hulkbuster armor.
As Bruce Banner.
As Bruce Banner, yes.
Not as the Hulk.
Not as the Hulk. And later on, we see the Hulk outside of the armor running along beside, Cap and War Machine. Actually, War Machine was in there too, and Iron Man. So we've got all that going on.
I wonder what's behind that story. Maybe they find a way to like stop him from being the Hulk, and then he hulks out eventually. That's interesting.
Well, remember, he said in Thor Ragnarok that he isn't sure that when he becomes Hulk again, if he just disappears completely.
Yeah, well, this movie has got to be 3 hours long.
Yeah,
and it's going to be an action-packed 3 hours, and I can't wait. You can tell though that like Winter Soldier and stuff are going to be in it for just like a battle. Like they're not going to have like any serious screen time. I think they'll give that to the Avengers, especially since it's their swan song. And Kevin Feige came out pretty much today, and everybody's contract ends with Avengers 4. So that's it. That's it for most of them. I think Hemsworth will stay Thor. And I think that's about it. I think Chris Evans will be done with Cap. Robert Downey Jr. will definitely be done with Iron Man. Mark Ruffalo is Hulk. That's kind of up in the air. I think he'll stay.
I think he's having fun with it.
He's not doing a lot of work, and neither is Robert Downey Jr. Since he doesn't have to put the costume on anymore, and he does the mocap suit. Yep. I mean, they finished principal photography for Infinity War a year ago. Like it was a year ago.
Yeah,
they were done. They've done some minor reshoots, but a lot of it was done on the soundstage. I don't know. What do you guys think? It still looks like a lot of that was just done. It looks very CG heavy. Okay, hang on a second. I gotta do this. God damn it. So, hey, tell me how to pronounce that again. I know you told me last night, and I forgot. So it's Geodf.
Geode.
Is it just Geode F? He told me last night. didn't catch it, but Johnny Pappas. I can't imagine Thanos is going to look worse than Steppenwolf. No way. No, he already looks better than Steppenwolf. I mean, I don't mean to bash on it too much. This movie's going to totally kick ass. And there will be weeping men and women just seeing all the Avengers together and just a big melee battle and whoever dies. Yeah, there's going to be a lot of nerd tears of joy and sadness. Yeah. But there's no denying like this is the end, and it made it. And I think this is a really smart move by Disney. They made it sound like they're not going to do a big connected universe anymore. They're going to do one-offs that are going to be loosely connected. And I think that's kind of the best way to go.
Yeah.
I think if you want to do a big connected universe, you do it on like a streaming service or television. Kind of like with Netflix, you stay connected. I wish they would have done that a little better, but I look forward to it's there you go. Okay. Joe D. Okay. Got it. Thank you. I'll remember that from now on. Joe D. Thank you. Jody says for Titans, do you think they'll incorporate elements from Young Justice? God, I hope so. Right. Like that. I would just copy it. I would just copy Young Justice, wouldn't you? I mean, that's a good show. That is a good show. Soul Gem, likely Wakanda, right? Yeah. In the trailer, Thanos looks like he was rendered fairly well despite being incompletely CGI. Yeah, I think they got a ways to go. I think by the time we get in the theater, it's going to look spot on. We're just being bitchy little nerds right now. But we're going to, I'm going to fanboy out so hard on that movie. Are you kidding me? Oh my God. I might even buy action figures for it. I haven't bought like a new action figure in a long time, but I might actually buy action figures for that one.
Like 2 months?
Yeah, 2 months, man. We got Christmas coming up. Make a little list for wifey poo. I want some towels, some socks, and some Infinity War action figures. I've been a good boy this year. Black socks, though. Black socks.
Since we have the MCU, ending, if you will, the way that Disney could bring this back around again is by acquiring another company.
I wonder what podcast has been saying since its very first podcast, how it's smart not to bring in the X-Men and the Fantastic Four and Spider-Man at the time, because that's a way to stretch out your time for the superhero film.
Was that Ain't It Cool News?
Was it Ain't It Cool News? Was it
The Nerdist?
It was probably the Nerdist.
It was probably the Nerdist.
No, it was us.
It was.
But I'm sure it was other people too. I'm sure other people said that too. Yeah. But I think it's been really good to not. I mean, it sucks that we didn't get Wolverine and all blah blah blah. But they would have kind of blown all their wad at once. And it looks like the Fox Disney deal for the 21st century properties is done. It's like happening. And the best evidence of that is the absolute silence that we have. Now the Disney buying Marvel deal, and I owned a comic store at a time. It took me, I owned Disney stock at the time. No, Marvel stock. It flabbergasted me. It took me by surprise. Like nobody knew that was going to happen. They kept that one that was so well done and hidden. Now buying Star Wars, we heard about, and this is kind of like the Star Wars deal. Like Disney's buying Star Wars, then we didn't hear anything for what was it, 5 days,
Something
5 or 6 days,
yeah,
and then it just happened. So I would expect an announcement. So we'll get X-Men and Fantastic Four in the MCU. Yes, I expect that to happen Monday. It's been dead quiet. News leaked out that it said they were going to do it, and then they said it was squashed, and because I think Disney wanted to buy all of Fox, or Fox wanted to sell all of themselves. I can't remember which order it was. Now it's just the properties, because these studios have to move really, really fast because the streaming stuff is creeping up. Television as we know it will be dead within 10 years.
I say it's going to happen on either the 11th or the 12th.
Of
the reason for that is, yes. You want to know why that is?
Why?
Because on the 15th, there's a little movie that comes out that Disney is going to be promoting called Star Wars: The Last Jedi.
So it'll come out before Star Wars.
It'll come out before Star Wars, so everyone gets hyped about, Disney buying these properties, and it'll boost. I think it'll boost their sales a little bit more on a lot, even more so. I know it's already boosted as it is, but I still think it'll boost it a little further. You have just a little more push.
I'm more of the belief that we live in an internet age, and they will announce the deal when it's done. If it's 4 a.m. on a Sunday night, I think they'll announce it because it won't make any difference. It'll be the biggest news of the day. It'll rock everybody, and you'll see all the studios are already moving. They're already positioning. Fox didn't have anywhere to go. A lot of their properties are owned by somebody else. They're still a huge media company, don't get me wrong, and it would just be better for them to focus on television, and then they can sell whatever properties they have to streaming services. Now, you're still going to have network TV and cable for, like I said, 10 more years, but it's going down fast. Our co-host John, who we hope feels a lot better, he was supposed to join us tonight, but he's a little under the weather, works on the Disney streaming service, so he's feeding us info. Not a lot, not anything that'll get him in trouble, but just, the basic stuff that, we might get it 5 minutes before the news or 5 minutes after in this case.
Passcodes.
Yeah. Just passwords and some private emails, nothing big.
Nothing that hasn't been put out on WikiLeaks already.
No, nothing. Yeah. Nothing that we haven't heard before, but yeah, it's interesting how fast everything is moving. If net neutrality could F all this up and the internet just turns into another TV, which is a definite possibility. So, ladies and gentlemen, do not let them, anybody who votes against net neutrality, right, needs to be voted out of office immediately. I don't care what party they are.
Yep.
That's a bipartisan issue. Net neutrality needs to stay, or you're just gonna, your computer will just be just cable again. Do we want that over again? No. Or we'll just have to really back a dark web, find some way. Who will kick the bucket? Oh wait, I got to go back some comments here. Okay. What do you think they'll do for the next phases for the MCU? What sort of arc should they explore? Secret Wars, Skrull Invasion, a proper Civil War. Yes. I wish they would do that. They could swing back around and do a proper Civil War and call it something else. AVX. They're definitely going to do, I think do Avengers versus X-Men and guys that under Civil War. Yeah, I think that's what they would do. And it would probably be better than the comic was. Secret Invasion, I think, is happening next.
Yeah, well, it's going to come out in Captain Marvel. Yeah.
Which Secret Wars? Like, if it's the Beyonder Secret Wars, I am down for that. I know it's cornball, but I am so down for that.
We're not going to do the Beyonder. I would love to see the Beyonder one. That would be awesome.
Hell yeah. And actually cast Jim Shooter as the Beyonder, because that's who he was based on. Oh my God. A proper Civil War. That would be so nice. I think we'll get everything again within our lifetimes in 20 years. I think that it'll all cycle back around. When John was supposed to be here, we're going to do this next week, but John has to be here because he's our X-Men guy. So we're part of the fun, and we want you guys to join in, is we were going to recast the X-Men for the MCU. So we'll be doing that next week. Also, Jody says, so they'll make a big announcement before Star Wars. Yeah, I think that's what Dennis just said. So who will kick the bucket in Infinity War? That is a good question.
Cap, Iron Man. I think just Cap and Iron Man. I think both of them are going to go.
Yeah, I don't think Vision is kicking. I don't think he's kicking the bucket. I don't think they would have showed that in the trailer. I think showing it in the trailer means he's not going to. And then there was the rumor today that they're going to do the Vision family possibly in Avengers 4, the Tom King thing.
Oh, that would be awesome.
That'd be brilliant. Maybe Scarlet Witch. Because especially if I don't think that was part of the deal. That would be interesting to have Vision feel pain. But But do you feel Disney's getting a little too big? Makes me think of the Borg Collective. Absolutely. As fun as the X-Men and Fantastic Four, I'm more excited about Fantastic Four going to Marvel than the X-Men. Actually, I think Fox was actually turning it around on the X-Men and doing a good job. But the Fantastic Four and Silver Surfer and Galactus, I just want to see them done right. That's my, I love that they're going galactic. That I just wish they would do supernatural stuff more, because maybe that's more for TV.
And Fantastic Four just needs to be fun.
Yeah, it needs to be, and there's definitely a way you can shoehorn them in. Dennis and I might do a video. We plotted this whole thing out. It's like the only thing we've ever like totally nerded out on from beginning to end. We plotted out how you could fit the Fantastic Four in the MCU, and it really worked, but we want to save it for a video. Jody says, Brian, my money's on Captain America. Can you think of any better way for him to go down? Agreed. I think Tony will survive, but Cap's death will help his character grow and develop into the next phase of his development. Maybe like as a director of S.H.I.E.L.D., maybe, who knows? Yeah, net neutrality will have repercussions across the board for sure. And then he agreed on the Beyonder. Hell yeah. If Infinity War is Infinity War still a two-parter? No, it is not, Mark. It started out that way, but I think it's a loose two-parter. They were going to film them back to back, and it was just going to be Infinity War Part 1 and 2, but now they are two separate movies. Originally it was Zoe's what's her name? Zoe
Saldana. Yeah.
Saldana let it leak that it was going to be called the Infinity Gauntlet. She said we have to go back and film Gauntlet, but that could have been a working title. Yeah. There's a lot of rumors that it's going to be the new Avengers or Avengers Disassembled. I don't think it would be Avengers Disassembled, though. That's not how you end your franchise by disassembling. Yeah, that's too negative.
Infinity War, and then you probably have Aftermath or something like that. Or
no, I think it's going to be Infinity War and either Infinity Gauntlet, or I like New Avengers. I think the New Avengers. I would lean towards that name. But it could be. I hope it's Infinity Gauntlet, to be honest with you. But anyone who dies can be brought back through the soul gem, right? It might feel a bit of a cheat. Yeah. I don't know how much I want to spoil. There's a lot of stuff out there on the internet where they're filming Avengers 4 now. And there's a lot of stuff insinuating that they're going to like wipe the slate clean and then start anew, which that has to be done right. That has to be done with a lot of finesse, because if you wipe the slate clean and pretty much negate, see, this is why you don't want to restart universes, because you just negate all the stories you read, which makes like, what? That's why Marvel's always had it over DC, because all the comics that the guys read in the 50s don't count at all. They do now, but they didn't for a long time, and it hurt the back issue value. That's why Marvel back issues are a large part when they're contemporary in the same time, contemporaries, like from the 60s. Marvel back issues are worth way more than DC back issues because they're in continuity. They're in canon.
And also to answer your question again too about, so Thanos in the comic actually had the Infinity Gauntlet with all the gems on it. And one of the first things he did was he killed half the universe.
Yeah.
Wiped them out completely. And
to bring balance, to satisfy his girlfriend who was Death.
Yeah, and the first thing that happened was that was undone when everyone wrested control of the gauntlet back from him. Yep. So yes, they can undo it.
Yes, they can undo everybody's death, but I'm sure they'll make it like a Doctor Who. Like one of those deaths will be like a fixed point in time, and you can't change it.
It's a nexus point. It's important.
It's a nexus point. There you go. Yeah, I agree. Cheesy as with Jessica Alba was at least fun. Yeah. So Jody was talking about Fantastic Four. Yeah, I agree. As cheesy as the one with Jessica Alba was, it was at least fun. Yes, my kids enjoyed the hell out of that movie. And for what it's worth, seeing Silver Surfer on the screen was awesome. I hated Galactus as a cloud, but that's been done to death. Infinity Watch. Yes, that would be a good one too. Which was a great comic, by the way. Oh my God. I've actually dug them out of my collection. I haven't like cracked them open to read yet, but just seeing all this Infinity stuff, I want to reread the whole thing in order. I didn't realize how big it was until I saw the long box I had. I was like, holy crap.
Wasn't Peter Dinklage, wasn't he cast as well? I want to say he was.
In a Marvel movie?
No, in this whole thing, because we were talking about for Infinity Watch. What's his name? The Satyr.
He was he cast?
Yeah, he was. It was a while back. I remember we talked about it.
Well, because he's got to be. Oh my God, what's his name? I'm blanking on his name right now. Oh, help me out, Dennis. Here, I got my old memory here.
Yeah, see, I can't remember what his name is either. He's the Satire, the half man, half goat guy.
Oh my God,
it's not Puck, because Puck is from Alpha Flight.
no, we're gonna have to move on. I'll be spent all day. That's not good for podcasting.
Pip the Troll. Pip the Troll. There
Pip the Troll. Thank you. God damn it.
Oh,
old man, Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
Yeah, he would be. That's a little on the nose. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but I remember hearing that he had been cast, and
I kind of remember hearing that too. But then we could have had a Mandela effect, and
we might have.
Might have. There you go.
We've had a lot of that lately, ever since orange-haired Gibbon's been put into office.
Jody, I agree. They sort of wiped the slate in the comic book arc for Infinity Gauntlet. Then they went and brought people back in the end. Yep. I mean, people did die in that. And oh my God, I remember reading. It just took me back to reading that going, what? No. Like I believed it, like they were going to die. I was so young. Marvel's been restarting their universe for years. Okay, so years, like the last 5 years? Yeah. They've done it so they did a hard reset that was still in continuity in the late 90s with John Byrne, when they went back to number ones with Spider-Man and everything. And then they did they played around. They haven't done a hard reset for the entire universe. What they've done is reset individual titles over time, and they've kind of mixed it up. Like they've done it with Daredevil, they did it with Spider-Man again with Straczynski, but they still stayed in continuity. It was just a wink to the fans, like, hey, we're going to modernize stuff and we're going to change a few things, but all that stuff you still read still mostly counts, except for the inconsistencies. And if you're a comic book reader long enough, you understood that. Like, that was the one thing that was understood about the 616 is like, yeah, for continuity over 70 something years, it's going to be murky. There's going to be plot holes everywhere, but we're just going to keep it. Okay. Let's just pretend the plot holes are cool.
And people that would call out those plot holes would get what was called a no prize.
A no prize. Exactly. Exactly. And then they ended the 616, right after I sold the store before they went ahead and did that. And I'm glad I wasn't there to see that. That would have, oh my God. If I was owning a store over the last 3 years of comic, I wouldn't be owning a store. I don't think I could have handled that. So I'm really glad I missed that period. And thank God it's coming to an end, and CB Sobolski is going to come in and hopefully save the day. If he just does an average job, it'll be better than what Axel did.
They just announced World War Hulk 2 is coming.
Yep, that's a leftover from Axel. So,
and yes,
Hulk gets pissed again.
Peter Dinklage is rumored to be in Avengers: Infinity War.
Awesome.
He's also going to.
But I haven't heard anything about it, man. That's weird.
Yeah, he's also going to play Hervé Villachez in a movie called My Dinner with Hervé.
Nice.
That's really interesting.
That dude was a freak.
Yeah, he was.
Jody says, I still wonder how they'll make it work without Adam Warlock. Wasn't he the most interesting arc in Infinity Gauntlet Saga? He was the arc. You know,
he was the whole reason for everything.
How are you going to do this without Dr. Doom, Reed Richards? Yeah, you have pretty much all the Doctor Strange is there.
Silver Surfer.
Didn't it look like in the trailer, guys, that the Hulk might be taking the Silver Surfer's role, falling through the Sanctum Sanctorum, and like saying it's coming? You know, that's what that looked like to me, anyway.
Well, considering we saw what's left over of Thor's ship.
Is that what that was?
Yeah, those are all dead Asgardians.
So he saved the Asgardians just to kill them all. It looks like there's some kind of portal he's holding. They showed a picture of him like that. Maybe he saved some of them. I don't know.
I think that's how he finds the Guardians. Is he gets punched through that portal?
Yeah. Yeah, Brian, but at least not as frequently as DC in recent years. Yeah, but Marvel has been guilty of it. They are totally guilty of restarting their universe, and it's okay to do it in the comic or in the movies. What goes in the comics can go in the movies as long as we get good stuff. And I would love for them to branch out and maybe start doing arcs. You know, it would be better for television, but do a Kraven's Last Hunt or something like that.
And Brian, according to DC, they have never restarted their universe. Those are all just alternate universes.
Okay.
Supposedly
semantics. That's it's bullshit.
Yeah.
They've restarted their universe.
I know. That's the rhetoric that's going around now.
From who?
That was from what's his face? Jeff Johns.
Jeff Johns?
Yep.
Yeah. Jeff, shut up and write comics. Yeah, they've restarted their universe multiple times, and they've done, but lately they've been amazing. So no complaints on DC. I'm going to pick up Doomsday Clock this weekend and read it. I know what everybody said about it. I'm still want to read it. The Illuminati, they could do a proper Illuminati. That's good. Yes. Namor. We have not seen Namor. We have not heard no hide nor hair of Namor. Apparently his rights are owned by some talent company or something like that. It makes things very difficult. So I gave up on DC in the 90s. You missed a little brief period of great DC in 2005, 2006. Then it was crap. But right now, Brian, with the Rebirth stuff, it is really damn good. I got to say. And I've not been DC, over the time I owned my store, DC had a brief pocket of being good, but most of the time they stunk, which sucked. Because you want to have both companies healthy when you own a store, believe me.
Yep.
Come on. New 52 Rebirth. God, Derek worked on a bunch of New 52, and I didn't like it. Rebirth is amazing. Rebirth is awesome. But you couldn't have Rebirth without New 52. So some of the New 52 was pretty cool, but not all. I got mad at the New 52 because they canceled the Paul Dini Zatanna series. To start the New 52. I was like, what the hell?
And they also, the same thing with Batman Beyond as well. I mean,
they did.
They had a really good, I mean, they were just going through a really good story, and they killed it right in the middle of the really good story.
So who do the Atlantis underwater story better for the movies, Namor or Arthur Curry? Namor. I think Namor would work a little better for the film because his character is a little more in depth than Arthur Curry. Although I don't know, man, I can't really say that. After the Peter David Aquaman, I think that's arguable. Actually, I think it just comes down if you're a DC Marvel guy, and because I kind of lean Marvel still, I would say Namor.
Namor can fly. That's all I'm gonna say.
Yeah, and as much as I love Jason Momoa, and I think his Aquaman was pretty good in Justice League. I liked it. If you get the right guy, I don't know, who would you guys cast as Namor?
Quite honestly, who I would cast as Namor is The Rock.
Nah,
Dwayne Johnson.
It's a little. I mean, he's already doing. He's already doing. Yeah, it's a little too on the nose. He's already doing.
He's not doing Black Adam, man. That thing's been in limbo for so long. That's not happening.
Well, I don't know now. I don't know if any DCU movie is happening now. But yeah, because Black Adam is Namor. I mean, they look exactly alike. Yeah. So that he'd be great. I don't know. I don't know how great he would be. Would he be the Rock or who do you think?
Mark Strong.
Mark Strong is Namor. That would be pretty good. He'd have to rip himself up a little bit. I think Namor should be played by kind of an older guy, like a guy in his 40s. Mark Strong's a little old though.
He might be a
He's in
little
his
too old. Yeah.
he's in his late 50s. I mean, if Namor was animated, I would have him do the voice for sure. But yeah, I I don't know. That I have to think about that one. Yeah, they got Zach Levi as Captain Marvel Shazam. That's a weird pick, I have to admit. We talked about that a couple podcasts ago. Zach Levi gets a lot of work. I mean, people must really like that guy. Well, he's probably the only guy in Hollywood who doesn't like, grab women's butts and stuff like that. So that's probably why he gets a lot of roles. He's just probably a decent human being. I don't know. Oh man, Jason Scott Lee as Namor. Ooh, I love that.
I don't know. If he was younger, oh my God, the guy who played Bruce Lee in that the Dragon the Bruce Lee story.
Wasn't that Jason Scott Lee?
Yeah, Jason Scott. Okay, is that who he said? Jason Scott Lee.
Yeah.
I thought he said Jason Lee, the guy from Kevin Smith. Yeah, that's what threw me off there.
No, man.
Yeah, Jason Scott Lee, definitely. Yes.
Ben Affleck. No, just kidding. Jason Scott Lee.
Matt Damon.
Matt Damon. Yeah, I'd have to think on that a little bit, but there's somebody out there who would be a damn good Namor.
Dean Cain.
Dean Cain still looks pretty good, but Jason Scott Lee's probably the best pick right now. So with this sale of Marvel, I can't believe this is actually going to happen, man. I cannot believe this is actually going to happen, because this means like Avatar. We haven't even talked about like Avatar is going to be a Disney movie now.
It already is a Disney movie.
Who else? What else does Fox own?
Don't they own like Harry Potter,
Predator, or something like that? What?
No, they don't own Harry Potter. That's WB.
That's WB. Yeah, that's too big.
Alien.
Yeah.
The Alien franchise.
Oh, really? Disney's Alien.
Yeah, that's Fox is Alien.
Oh man, X-Files. No, X-Files is on TV, but I don't know if that falls into the movie part of it too. I don't know. I like it and I don't like it. I think it's too big. It's too damn big. And like they would not give Deadpool the freedom that he's got now. Enjoy this Deadpool movie. I will say that, because I don't think you'll get another one. I think there'll be a creative differences or something will come down. And that's too bad, because we're going to get that X-Force movie in a couple years. That I wanted to see. Who was directing that again? It was somebody good. I can't remember now.
Oh, I can't remember. I don't even think they actually have an actual person in mind at the moment.
I thought we did a subject on it. Hang on, let's find out. Director of Drew Goddard.
Oh, crap. Okay, Drew Goddard.
Yeah, that would be a great movie. Oh my God. So I don't know, man. What else you got? Do we have anything else there?
No, that was it. That was the last thing.
We'll be going on for, what is it? It's only been going on for an hour and a half, Dennis. We got to have some other stuff. Let's see what the guys got to say. Here we go. Oh, here we go. Okay. We got some comments. I got a comics division here. What's up, comics division? And he comes in laughing. Dinklage would rock whatever part they gave him. True. I gave up. Oh, comics division was back there. I didn't even catch that. Yeah. You have a mean nerd cave. Hey, thanks, man. Yeah. It's all what's left over from the comic shop. And yeah, this was all stuff in bins. I can't do the 360 on the camera yet, because like only this part of it right now is going, but I'm redoing it currently. Used to own a comic store in San Francisco. Might have mentioned it a few hundred times on this podcast, but
I didn't know that.
I know, even though you worked in there for a little while.
I did.
And some of your art still stands there to this very day. Maybe Disney would allow some R-rated movies for certain characters. Deadpool would be sick, would suck as a PG-13 film. Hell yeah, it would. They're going to have to, and they can shove them off to Miramax or make someplace else, but because there's too much money to be made with the Punisher. From what I heard from John, what he heard from his friends at Netflix, the Punisher was a record download, like right up there with Iron Fist and the Defenders, and it might have actually beat them as far as views.
It was their number 2, from what I understand. Yeah,
so number 2, like of all time for Marvel. I don't know how it does. Like Stranger Things blew everything away. Apparently, like it blew. Yeah. What's their biggest one? House of Cards was their biggest one until Stranger Things 2 came out, and that like blew it away.
Oh, listen to this. So Fox has Planet of the Apes.
Yeah.
They also have The League of Extraordinary Gentlemen. They also have Daredevil. Remember?
No, Daredevil's back.
Well, they used to have Daredevil. That's right. So, I mean, they have quite a few. Alien versus Predator. So you have Alien and the Predator franchise, like we were talking about.
Yep.
Elektra, but Elektra's back already from everything that happened there. And of course, Fantastic Four, which we talked about. The Simpsons. Remember, they had the Simpsons movie. That was actually the movie. So, I mean, they would have that as well. There's quite a few things. Oh
man, the Simpsons. Again, I don't know if they're getting the TV properties or not, like Disney's 24.
No, that's the movie. Remember, the Simpsons had a movie, so they own that one.
So they would own the movie. Well, yeah, see, I don't know. I have no idea. We'd have to ask Mark about that one. The intellectual property law is it's
Hitman.
Yeah, so they don't have it, but they have the original. This is all for the original Prince of Star Wars and getting your MCU characters back. So let me get back to the comments here. Johnny Pappas, wasn't Ex Machina supposed to be adapted? Brian K. Vaughan's version, yeah. Dennis and I were just talking about that last night. Why the Last Man and Ex Machina were talked about as TV shows and movies 10 years ago. Like nothing. What happens is, these things get optioned all the time. I might have also mentioned that I'm friends with Derek Robertson, and
really,
yeah, once or twice. And there's things I can tell you. There's things I can't tell you because they were told in confidence. But things I can tell you is the man has been optioned more time than your average streetwalker in the Tenderloin, and the option check is very small. Especially, I was in Artist Alley at San Diego Comic-Con, right next to the guy who did the Boondocks when he got his option deal, when they first offered it to him.
Magruder.
Yeah. He was sitting right next to us. So they offered him, like right there in the hallway, they offered him 10 grand. 10 grand. And he took it. And he took it because like he was a little guy from Oakland, an Artist Alley, making nothing. That was huge money to him. I can't blame anybody for taking this, but once it's optioned, then they have the rights for a certain period of time. Usually it's 2 to 3 years. If they put something into production, it extends it out another 3 years. And there's tons of ways they just get screwed. But if you get something into production, and Derek, like I said, has been optioned a million times. And the first show Derek has done The Boys, Transmetropolitan, and Happy. And Happy happened to be the first thing that happened. And like, he was shocked. When he told me, I'm like, they're going to make Happy a TV show? What? I don't know if you guys have read Happy. It's a great little Christmas story about a girl, her imaginary friend, who's a blue unicorn named Happy, and an ex-cop hitman who's basically, it's Grant Morrison writing a Garth Ennis character as Garth Ennis, basically. And it's a good little story, and it's premiering next Wednesday. We will be recapping it. And again, I'm going to plug this again. Derek has promised to come on this channel for I'm going to try to get him to do a Q&A, but it might just be an interview. I don't know. I'll see what kind of time he has. He's a very busy boy right now. And we're going to get him on his channel very soon.
Someone from the down below is trying to contact you on those lights behind you.
They are. Oh, that's what actually Logan wanted to put the letters on there.
That would be cool.
Those are called blinking Christmas lights. I am festive. I like Christmas. My house is decorated. My tree is decorated. I am ready to go.
I am decorating like the White House does with very
baby's
weird
blood.
Yeah.
Jody says, and that's not even concerning the what if arcs. What if Punisher was Captain America? That would, dude, if they did like a TV series on that, that would be sick. Yeah, I own all those old what ifs. I freaking love this. The what if Elektra hadn't died, and you know the classic ones that Frank Miller actually wrote and drew. Love that one. Marvel 1602. I love 1602. I don't know how the heck you'd adapt that, but that's a deep cut. That's something like superhero movies have to be out for like 20 years for that one to happen. You know, what was the biggest problem with Watchmen? Is it came out before we even knew what a superhero movie was. It wasn't established enough yet, you know. So
I actually liked Hickman's remember Shield?
Yeah, that was great. That would be that would be a great Netflix series.
With Michelangelo and Leonardo da Vinci. Yeah. And they're fighting. They're the two different factions of Shield. That was awesome.
Before or after gentrification. In the Tenderloin, that would be before.
Yeah, the Tenderloin kind of
not gentrified yet.
Kind of resists gentrification.
Well, no, wait. Take that back. The white people are there at night to get Coke, but then they leave. It is not far from here. I know Hooker in the Tenderloin. I know it's so typical. I know I'm getting old. I should be a little more edgy than that, but yeah. So definitely. And if you guys are gonna watch the Happy recap, I've got a stack of signed Derek Robertson Happy #1s that I want to give away. So comment. What is it? It's Wednesday, right? Wednesday. Wednesday. I don't know the time we're doing yet. It's either 8 or 9 or 10. Yeah, comment on there, and like the first, I don't know, 20 comments or something like that. I'm gonna send comics to, but you got to email me your addresses.
Yeah, give us your address, because I mean, come on, we've done a couple of these before, and we've said who the winners are, and we've contacted people, and we got nothing back. So I'm sitting here, like right now, sitting on top of my desk is the tick bag that someone won and no one claimed.
Actually, Brian, I promised that to Brian if that person didn't claim it. So Brian, that's yours, man. Yeah. I have your address. You're the one guy who said, I understand why people don't want to just throw out their address to like some dorks on the internet. I know that tick stuff is awesome, dude.
Yeah.
But you wouldn't trust this face? Really? Yeah. Right on. Right. So yeah. So if all my email is nerdrotics@gmail.com. Any requests, you guys want to come on the show, just email me and give me your address, and we'll email you some, especially, the few people who are in here taking part of this, just email me your addresses. I'll send you a Derek Robertson signed Happy #1 if you want it. I'll send you 2. I've got a short box full of them. Yeah. So yeah, we've had some prize winners and they just didn't email us. So I mean, yeah, I'm sitting on 1602 for American Gods. We gave away 1602 run, and I'm sitting on that. So I'll put that one back up when American Gods starts up again.
We give away stuff. Yes, we do.
Buckaroo Banzai reboot. Hell yeah. Now, reboot movie or TV show?
Oh, I want it as a TV show.
I want it as a TV show too. Thanks, Jody. I told you, this is a face you could trust. No, I'm just kidding. That's what my mom says. Well, no, she doesn't really say that.
I was going to say, yeah.
She says, get out. No. Yeah. So what is it? Johnny and Comics Division and Jody and Brian Smart. Who else there's not a ton of people in here. So, and Mark, if you're still in there, go to the About section. If you don't remember the nerdrotics@gmail.com, there's another email address in there. Email either one. and I will send you guys free of charge. I'll pay the postage. I'll send you guys a Happy #1 signed by Derek Robertson, because what the hell, we're all friends here. So yeah, and if you guys have any questions for Derek, please email me those too. So I'll ask him a few questions, and I mean, he'll come on again too. He's promised for like, I don't know, 3 years, but I've been kind of on his ass about it.
He's a little shy. He's camera shy.
Yeah. Oh, he's not camera shy. Yeah, I know. I know you're being funny. You're being funny guy there. He's one of those creative types who's just like kind of a gnat on crack inside of a pinball machine, but in a good way, in a really good way. And he's got a family, but he lives pretty close. So it's fun. Yeah. TV show for Buckaroo Banzai. Hell yeah. Dive deeper into that universe. Now, and we can go full geek on this one. Who would you have run it?
Oh man, for something like that, I'd want it to be like really balls out crazy. So I would have to say Noah again on that one.
Noah Hawley from Legion.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yep. I would have to agree. Or I'm terrible at his name. I don't know. You know what? Transmetropolitan TV show I'd run by Sam Esmail.
Yeah,
from Mr. Robot. I would give that to him. I would give him the keys to the kingdom, a Brinks truck, and make me lots of money.
I would also say either Guy Ritchie or Matthew Vaughn. You know,
Matthew Vaughn. He can run anything, dude. Yeah, I want him to direct pretty much every superhero movie. Every time there's a director for a super, it's like Matthew Vaughn. They don't do it. Hells yeah.
Remember, we're getting Umbrella Academy coming to Netflix too. I just heard some news about that, about how they're changing up little things here and there. But for the most part, they're kind of sticking with the story, which is interesting.
Long in development. I mean, that's been, but I believe it's going to happen. That was pretty good comic too. I liked it.
Yeah.
See, that's why you got to support and love or hate them, like shows like Runaways and Happy when they come out, or Preacher, because if those succeed, then we get Transmetropolitan and Why the Last Man. Although I'm not the biggest Why the Last Man fan, that's just an example. Or Ex Machina, which is a great comic book. I can hint, oh boy, just Transmetropolitan TV show is it's a thing. It's gonna happen. I don't know when, I can't tell you who, but it's gonna happen. They've been hot on that lately. That is a property that both Derek and Warren Ellis own, so they have a right in it. Like now they have to go to DC and Vertigo first. Now DC tried to screw them when they changed to DC Entertainment. Remember, did you read about that?
Yeah.
They changed to DC Entertainment the same reason Marvel changed to Marvel Entertainment, to basically screw the creators out of what little rights they have. Like some Marvel creators did have like a percentage of some of the characters they created. They don't anymore. Now, DC went back on it. They were going to take it away, and then they decided not to because they were looking like dicks. Yeah, even a show like Lucifer, you got to support. My wife loves that show. I don't hate that show. I don't know. I can't watch everything. But Transmet going to where I really can't say. Just I'll give you a big hint. It's going to the place where it should go. Where you would think, where would be the best place for Transmetropolitan?
Amazon.
I wonder who would have the most money and do the best job.
Amazon.
I will not confirm nor deny that. Books of Magic. Hell yeah. You know, I like Books of Magic, the original series, more than I like Sandman. And I'm going to ask you, Jody, don't you think Neil Gaiman could sue the crap out of J.K. Rowling just a little? I remember when I first saw Harry Potter, I'm like, wait a minute. And we were debating with somebody what came first, but Books of Magic came out like, what was it, a couple years? Harry Potter, what was the first Harry Potter book? 96 or something like that? Was it 96 or 94, 96? Books of Magic came out.
It was like 99, I think.
No, that was when the movies came out. Books of Magic came out in, well, I remember reading it in 94. I think it came out a year before that, a couple years before that. Joe D, I can't answer, but you got one of those answers right. I'm gonna get in so much trouble. Gary, I have my doubts about it since it was nothing like the comics, but it's a fun show. Yes, it's a fun show, and it's zero like the comics. It's cop drama with Lucifer on it, but sometimes you need that. I would like to see the real version of it, but I want Constantine more. I even like that NBC Constantine series, and it's on, what is it on, the CW Seed, which I'll rewatch it because I freaking love Matt Ryan. It wasn't a perfect show, but it could have been really good. I think they pulled the plug on that one way too soon.
Actually, what I would like to see is a TV series, Lobster Johnson.
Hell yeah.
That would be awesome. Set in the 40s, 30s, 40s.
That would be an expensive TV series, but I'd watch the hell out of it.
Yeah.
Philosopher's Stone was 97. Yeah. So Books of Magic came out like 4 years before. Tim Hunter is freaking Harry Potter. He just happens to be on a skateboard. He's got a big owl. And Neil Gaiman, like, never, to his credit, never pressed the issue. Neil Gaiman, I haven't met him, but I mean, I wouldn't love his politics or anything, but I think he seems like a cool dude. And creatively, I love what he says creatively. One of the best things he ever wrote, besides the first thing he wrote, I'm pointing over to my book. I actually stole that book from a Walden's book when I was a wily little teenager. Was he did the story behind the scenes of the Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy radio show. That was the first book he wrote, and yeah, I nicked it from Walden Books in Encinitas, California, in 1987. It's closed now. Statute of limitations is over. I was a broke high teenager. And the other good thing he wrote, besides a couple of comics, was the George R.R. Martin is not your bitch. I love that. It's just about nerd entitlement and stuff. And hey, I'm like that too, especially with watch our Star Trek videos. I act like an entitled nerd. But yeah,
I'm not that at all.
Oh, you're nothing like that at all. So, man, you know what? I don't know if he's still here, but it was a great, I love all you guys here. Having Comics Division here was a great honor. I actually watch Comics Division guys, does comics reviews. And it's actually named after one of my favorite bands of all time, Joy Division. And he's very good. So definitely check him out if you haven't already. I am a subscriber of his. So a Potter fan actually tried trolling Gaiman for ripping. I remember this, for ripping off Harry Potter. I think he was forced to file some kind of case, but maybe he ended. I think him and Rowling settled it, because I don't think he ever wanted to make a big. I never saw him make it. I could be wrong though. And commentary as well. And you're welcome, sir. And you're welcome, sir. Yes, he does. He does commentary. He's part of that group that has, I think, helped change comics a little bit. You don't have to agree with all of them all the time, but I kind of do. And yeah, I think they've done some good work over there. Yes. Yeah, but back to Neil Gaiman, it's I think he was just being cool. I'd like to think that in my head. Maybe he wasn't. Maybe he's just being quiet on Lord. Oh yeah, got you. He's a subscriber right there. Right on. Jody, you the man or woman. I don't know. I'm assuming. I don't want to assume. Dennis.
Yes.
How you doing, man?
I'm
going
sorry,
for 2 hours.
I know. I was actually just taking a look at a couple things online while you were.
No, that's good. Did you find anything? Other than I want to ask. Okay, so what did everybody think of the Robin costume? I'm sure everybody caught that. I want to hear what you guys thought. I'm going to put the picture back up again because it's so.
I'm going to say right now, on our YouTube channel, we are at 799 subscribers.
Oh, we're at 799 now. That's awesome. That is good.
I think whoever becomes number 800 here.
Well, I think all these guys subscribe.
If we can get someone to become number 800, I have in my hot little hands here.
Well, that's part of the tick package I just promised to Brian Smart, though. Okay. I can offer something up. Hang on. I got something. Let me look around. All I got to do is look around. Oh, okay. I got something. Hang on. If I can reach it. Without pulling out my mic.
I've got all kinds of stuff floating around here too. So,
all right. Whew, this is good YouTube. Well, at least it's, Diversity in Comics has 50,000 subscribers, and we stare at his socks all the time, so it's all good. All right. So before I share the Robin picture again, this right here is a CGC. This is a Comic Outpost Amazing Spider-Man 666 variant. 9.8. I was going to kind of save this for something groovy. Okay, so the story behind these is you had to buy like 5,000 of them to get your own variant. And I screwed up and I sent them the working. This wasn't the final image I wanted to send them. This was like the one I was mocking up, and I sent them the wrong damn image, so it kind of sucks. But what happened was the guy, oh my God, the guy next door to my was building a salon for his wife, and he cut a sewage pipe and it flowed all over my comics in the basement and destroyed 10,000 comics. And it's a sad ass story. So all of these variants were in that. So only like 50 survived out of the 5,000. So it's rare. It's like there's not many out there. I've sold a couple on eBay. I think I sold like 10 at a con, and I've kept the rest. And this is the only one that's CGC'd. So yeah, if I don't know if we can know who our 800 subscribers. I'm going to save that. You know what? I've got a Len Wein signed Hulk 181 image. We'll give that to him. This one I got to save. Is that all right? I don't want to be a Native American giver. Can I say that?
We got 800. We just got an 800.
Oh, we did? Okay, we got to find out who it is. There's the Robin image, by the way. What really? Oh, it might be. That really sucks. I know it sucks, right? Oh, and then I didn't even want to get into how the poor landlord offered to pay for everything because the guy wouldn't pay for it, and then I wouldn't take the money because my landlord was the dude only charged me $1,000 a month for 10 years in San Francisco. I mean, the guy was the sweetest guy in the world. Just love him to death. John Toda. May he rest in peace, John Toda. He's passed now. Love that man like a father. Yeah, so I wouldn't let him pay for it, so I paid for it. It is, luckily it was like dollar bin stuff, but yeah, I had this and my Avengers variant. So there was 3, and Spider-Man #1. You guys remember that one? They did our comic. Yeah, that one. I have 100 of those. So I'll include the floppies with your happy signed by Derek. Just please email me, and I'll include those in too. What the hell? I'm in a good mood tonight, man. Hey, it's okay. It was years ago. I was really pissed at the time. Totally over it now. It's okay. It all worked out. So,
yeah, we have hit 800 subscribers officially.
Yes, I'm so stoked about that. Hey guys,
I am too.
We were at 300 something on September 30th. So I don't know what we did. But because we do everything wrong. We meander for 2 hours or 3 hours.
We forget names of podcasts.
Names. We prepare like crap. It's visceral responses, but I don't know. Hey, I'm grateful. That's awesome. You know what I really like? Comics Division does, because that's where I met Comics Division. Is I really like when I Love Comics or Weaponized Nerd Rage. They do the live. It's comic book centric. They just talk about comic books, and they do these and. I watch every minute of it. And they go on for like 3 hours, but they're great. They're really, really funny and good. And it's fun listening to the youngsters You know, I like that. So, but it's getting a little late. So
yeah, let's see your face again too, by the way.
Yeah. Guys, by the way, I didn't even get their reaction to Robin. It looks great. Doesn't it look great? It looks freaking awesome. I am so excited about this. Like this image is like honestly the best thing I've seen from TC from period. I like that. And
I'm thinking the Black Lightning costume myself, but
the Black Lightning costume is great. Don't get me wrong, but this is like it just reminded me that we're goddamn 20 years into the whole comic book thing, and
10 years
first time.
Well, 10 years into the solid comic book movies.
10 years into the MCU, 20 years into the more from X-Men, and we haven't had a Robin, in 20 years. It just makes no sense at all.
Yeah.
It is sick as hell. All right, so we're gonna end this meandering. But guys, it was great. I freaking love these things. We're doing them every Friday at 8:00. The only thing is, I hope I'm not missing any of the live streams. I like to watch it Friday. So usually they do them later. So that's why I decided to do it at 8. So I don't know, but thank you guys, everybody involved. And for those who are watching this as a video, get involved on the live chat part. It's fun. Yeah. I love to chat with these guys. This is rad.
Let's ask you also, Marvel Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. started tonight. Is anyone showing any interest in us doing that as a show? Any other shows that you're interested in us possibly tackling? Let us know in the comments, and we'll take a shot at it, see how it goes. So I watched Marvel Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. earlier today, so I already saw the 2-hour season premiere. It wasn't bad. I was actually pleasantly surprised. I don't know where they're going to go with it, but it was interesting.
Yeah, I'm gonna watch it later. I'm gonna watch it. Okay, so Johnny Papa said, when you put out content, people search for certain things and they find you. That's how I found you. I was looking for a review of Mr. Robot. Johnny, again, thank you for searching us out and finding us. And that's good to know because, yeah, frankly, I'm always signed into my account, so I don't know how. And I know they group things, and I know it's based on Google Plus, which is the people you interact with become part of a circle. Okay, so like I go to Comics Division, I go to Weaponized Nerd Rage, I Love Comics, and Emergency Awesome. I know, but I watch Emergency Awesome. I do. And, some other political guys, and then the couple of Game of Thrones guys, and just weird stuff, like Art Bell stuff. And so it groups it together, and that's how they do these circles. So it's all based on who searches what, and it's reciprocal. We have a couple of friends that work at YouTube, and they can't explain it. The algorithm, they said, is kind of a growing thing, and it's super compartmentalized there, and it's really, really private. Like dude, does anybody ever hear secrets coming out of YouTube or Google at that? No, at all, because the people who work there like working there. And yeah, they don't want to not work there. They get paid really well. And it's funny, the job I work at now, I am a block away from YouTube. A block away. I can see the building from my office. So yeah. So let's finish up the comments and we'll take us out. Okay. Well, it's sort of it's a bit better than CWDC show costumes. Yeah, I think so. I loved it. I don't know. Honestly, I think my expectations were so low for the Teen Titans. I was just pleasantly surprised. As far as the kid himself, yeah, he did have a few more muscles on him. Oh, I guess we said we were going to talk about the Star Wars trailer, so I'll do that really quick. So there was that new Star Wars trailer, and the only thing I wanted to point out was Kylo Ren. Kylo Ren, it looks like he put on like 50 pounds, like of muscle. Like he looks huge. Adam Driver. Really? Yeah, he looks freaking huge. The other thing I wanted to point out, and if you're Star Wars fans, please forgive me, but this is a little rough. They did a whole documentary at the end of the trailer about like how hard Daisy Ridley trained. And then at the very end of that, like it was exhausting, excruciating. It was the hardest I ever worked. And then the trainer's all, yeah, you know, we only worked for 3 days, but she really caught on. and I'm like, yeah, to a movie star, that probably was excruciating. I don't know. I got a little chuckle out of that. Like right after all that, like she'd been working out for 3 months, training with ninjas. Now it was a guy on a hill with a stick for 3 days.
Yeah, supposedly he's on record now as saying that when she's done with the movies, she doesn't want to play Ray. Doesn't want to go back to the character
that
again.
too.
Yeah.
Oh, Jody says yes to both. Okay, man in the White Cat, no, in the High Castle. We've gone back and forth, and we're gonna do it. We're gonna go ahead and do it. And Electric Dreams, hell yeah, we're gonna do Electric Dreams.
And I think Electric Dreams.
I don't know if Black Mirror, I don't know if it's going. I got to figure out what's going on with Black Mirror because I'd like to cover that too. Because huge Twilight Zone fan.
4 is coming out.
Season 4. Inhumans, best show ever made. Right, Leroy, you're right. If it was the only show ever made, it still wouldn't be the best show ever made.
It was,
but at least
awesome.
they tried. They used IMAX cameras.
Yeah.
Hey, somebody really needed some training that day, and they got it. So you got to find the positives and everything. Gary, I want to see if it moves well in fight scenes. Yeah, me too. Right now, we just got a really cool smoky image, but we don't know. And this isn't a Warner Brothers TV show. It's a DC TV show, so we don't know how much money's involved in this.
DC streaming. I don't even know. They don't even have a good name. Isn't it called DC streaming?
Yeah.
Service.
I don't like
streaming
like as a term. You just don't want to cross the streaming. That's all I have. Thanks for the heads up. If anything is good as the Man in the High Castle, I will add to my stuff watch list. Yeah, it is really, really good. I'm sorry, I could never get my crap together that we couldn't do 12 Monkeys because that was a great show too.
Well, season 4, the final season's supposed to be coming out. They still haven't released it as of yet.
Yeah. And I agree with you, Jody. It's time to posture for that contract. And you can hear all the critics about her. All she has to do is go, how much did my movies make? I think it was 2 billion. I think 2. It was 2 billion, not 1, 2. Okay. Yeah. So, yes, please. Black Mirror. Yeah. Black Mirror it is twisted. Yeah. The first one was the first episode. The first one I saw was the one with the pig. Was that the first episode?
Yeah.
Okay. I was like, because my friend just said it's like Twilight Zone. He didn't go into it's like Twilight Zone,
but really twisted.
I mean, like, after a good bender, after Rod Serling had spent a night in the Tenderloin. So when does Electric Dream start?
Next year.
Next year, Bryan Cranston.
Yeah.
I'll add it to the list. To quote Cap, very good. Very good. All right, guys. You know where you can find all of our podcasts and videos. They're at nerdrotic.com. If you haven't subscribed to the Nerdrotic channel, please do so. And hey, we got to 800. That's awesome. Thank you. Yes, thank you so much. We do these live podcasts / chats every Friday night at 8. John will usually be joining us, but John actually had a little bit of a health scare tonight. He's going to be okay, but send the positive vibes to our friend John. Yeah. So he's at home. He's taking care of himself. Everything's cool now, but we had a little situation. And we also cover The Gifted, The Runaways, Mr. Robot, which is our favorite thing to be covering right now, and Happy. We will be covering Happy on next Wednesday. Please go to nerdrotic.com for the schedule. All of our links will be in the description of this video. Dennis has a Twitter. It is at Daforce, DAFORCE, and mine is at Nerdrotics. Please follow me and I'll follow you back. And that's it. Dennis, take us out.
Don't let the door hit your ass on the way out, America.
May the small folks sing songs of your greatness. Guys, thank you so much for watching. It was great chatting with you. See you next time.
Next Friday.
Next Friday or sooner. Good night, everybody.
Good night.